But
fucking
yeah.
weird, man. I feel like as big as Marvel is, I run
Mhm.
into people all the time who say they like DC more than Marvel. And it fucking baffles me because I'm like, I fucking love Marvel, bro.
Mhm.
Like, I love Spider-Man,
Mhm.
Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Thor, Hulk, like, and I feel like there's way more range on variety of types of superheroes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas DC is like Superman, and then Water Superman, and then Bat Superman, and then Woman Superman, and then Space Superman.
Not Water
Um,
Superman.
what DC
Oh man.
has though is those fucking villains.
Yeah.
Those villains though,
Mhm.
a fucking one.
They
I've
did a
always
lot of
loved,
thought into their villains. But the
yes,
thing
I've
is
always
though,
loved,
Mhm.
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Now I
Go
was
ahead.
gonna say I've always loved the Lex Luthors.
Mhm.
Um, the fucking billionaire who fucking makes money, and it's crazy because now we see those Lex Luthors like popping up, like fucking
Yeah.
Jeff
Right.
Bezos and
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
And people
Like, we
looking at
didn't
them
really
like,
have those. Yeah, we didn't really have those like back in
yeah,
the 90s, but like now it's like, yo, we see fucking Lex Luthor is like
yeah.
walking around on Earth. Joker,
Hmm.
A1 villain,
Hmm.
A1.
Hmm.
I mean, pretty much all of Batman's villains
Hmm.
are incredibly
Yeah, he
dope
got great
because they all
villains.
have. He
Yeah.
has some of the best
Yeah.
villains in comic
In
book
comics,
history.
period. And it's
The
like the
be- I
crazy part
mean,
too. Like I know Fantastic Freaky mentioned it because I've said it before to my friends, and they were like, well, "Who's one of your favorite villains?" And I was like, "The Reverse Flash." And I know she mentioned it on one of her videos where she was talking about how petty he is. And I was thinking, I was just laughing the whole time because I was like, "She's right." I'm like, "This dude went like
that nigga
he had nothing to do with the
petty.
Flash. He had nothing to do with the Flash, but because the Flash got his powers, he got jealous of this man because he wanted to be him, and he wanted to be his nemesis. So he's like, "I'm just gonna go back and kill your mom and make you hate me." Like, who does that? Who does that?
Fucking crazy. Yeah, yeah.
You
Reverse
know, I
Flash.
was like,
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's why like DC. I feel like DC's villains are more appealing than their
mm,
heroes, and that's what
yeah,
I've always said about DC. I was like,
mm,
DC, if you guys want to smoke Marvel, focus on the villains. And like I could pull in one of my friends. I've been saying this for like 10 years. I've been saying this for so long. Even before I got into like, I've been saying this for so long. DC,
mhm,
focus on your villains and make the superheroes like in the background.
yeah,
Right. And they're starting to do that now, like with the Joker movies,
mhm,
even though it's not really tied to like
the
we
main,
haven't seen Batman or anything in it, but still, it was like a really, really good movie. And
yeah,
now they're doing it with Black Adam, where Black
mhm,
Adam gets his whole. It's the fucking Rock, right?
yeah.
So DC execs, like,
Yeah,
they need to be getting on their
somebody's listening.
knees for the Rock.
Yeah, and so it's
They
something I
need to be.
heard recently. I don't know if you heard this yet. You may have, but you know how gosh, why is his name escaping me right now? But the director for the Batman, you know how he brought in the villains with that. So he's about to do a bunch of spinoffs. I think he's starting with the Penguin, and then he was talking about doing something with Clayface and like pretty much all of Batman's Rogues Gallery, where he's gonna do like these TV spot spinoffs. And so I'm just like,
We
so
need
it's
that
funny you
Penguin.
mentioned that because I'm looking at, I'm like, man, like that's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be dope. You know,
Get
if he does that.
get that fucking Alfred series the fuck out of here. We don't
Yeah.
want to. We don't
Anywhere.
want an
Yeah.
Alfred series. We don't want an Alfred series. We want that Penguin series, especially Colin Farrell's Penguin,
Yeah.
that Mafia. His
That dude
acting
was
in that
he
fucking
was
blew
so
my
unrecognizable.
mind.
He was so
Blew my
unrecognizable. Like
mind. Like the obviously the face and everything was amazing, but
mhm,
his accent, like
acting.
the way he
Yeah.
talked, and I'm from New York, so like
Mhm,
I know people with like thick Italian accents that
mhm,
talk like that, and they're on the older side, and I'm
mhm.
like, yo, this shit is fucking fire. Like
Yeah, he
that's
did
what we
amazing.
need.
He did amazing.
Yeah, we
Like
need that. We
that's
need I I don't know how I feel about this new Joker being a musical and Lady
yeah,
Gaga and shit like that, but
that was weird.
I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna give it a
Mm.
shot. We need a Mister Freeze. They need to find a way to do Mister Freeze,
And
but
doing
do
right.
it in their DC. Like if this was real,
Mhm.
like they need to do something with fucking I don't even know, dry ice or what's the nitric
Uh,
nitrogen
yeah,
oxide? I don't fucking know the
mhm,
terms. I'm not a scientist,
yeah.
but you know, with something
I know what
something
you're talking about
crazy
though,
like
so
that.
don't worry.
Yeah,
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 and I
something
think they
crazy
will,
like that.
and I think they will because I
Yeah,
mean his story's heartbreaking. And that's the thing too. I think with a lot of the way they did with their villains is, and I think this is the reason why a lot of people gravitate to DC villains more than the heroes is because it's like with the heroes, they base them off of like Greek and Roman gods and stuff like pantheons, and that's kind of how their heroes are. And so a lot of people, it's hard for them to connect to that. Like if you even look at the Flash, he's Hermes pretty much. You know, you look at Wonder
yeah,
Woman, she's Athena. You know, Superman,
hmm
you could say he's Ra or he's Zeus. You know, whatever. You know, Batman. I forget the god of knowledge and stuff like that, but that's technically Batman. So that's kind of how they did a lot of their heroes. But if you look at their villains, like they actually gave these Jokers like life problems. Like you look at, like you said, Mr. Freeze. He doesn't really want to be a villain. He just wants to
yeah,
heal his wife who has this uncurable disease, but he knows doing it the right way isn't going to get him to the point, so he has to do it the wrong way. And Batman's trying to stop him, so he's just like, man, forget it. Let me build this ice armor suit just in case Batman comes in. And like even
yeah,
with Firefly, it was the same thing with him. Like he tried to get he was in it because and that's even to the comics too. Like he was in it because his dad did it, but he wanted his dad was like in the with um the mob and stuff like that, and he wanted to get away from it, but got pulled back into it. So he
hmm
had to, in a sense. So it's like they really like the Joker for, like a lot of people forget the Joker's backstory. Like he, and that's the reason why I kind of like. I think it was in the Dark Knight where he said only thing they need is one bad day, because it actually calls back to the comics, because that's what happened with him. He wanted to be a
hmm
comedian, and he just had this one bad day where he got pulled into something that he really wasn't supposed to be part of, and now he's this
yeah,
unhinged character, you know. So yeah, they really put thought into their villains. Like that, I think somebody like a lot of them have psychological problems and stuff like that. Like quite literally, I think all of their
yep,
villains have some type of psychological problem, which makes them that even more grounded. But the thing I'll
yeah,
say about DC though is like DC, like we look at their main cast, and you know, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Aquaman, like you said, Water Superman, faster, Water Superman, faster Superman, you know,
yeah.
with the Flash and stuff. So it's like you see all of them, and you're like, oh, they're super strong. But a lot of their B-lister and C-lister heroes, like they they have some really good ones that they need to bring out.
hmm
Like Black Lightning,
yeah,
they need to bring out Vixen. They need to bring out. They have a lot. Like Green Arrow, if they did a good Green Arrow movie, they could pull it off. Like this TV series, seasons one, like I think one through. I watched the
I
whole thing,
love
but
that
season
series.
one, two, three, like that was banging. Especially when they brought in Slade, like
Yeah,
they were
when they
doing it
brought in
up, you know.
Slade, um, Slade or Deathstroke.
Mhm.
They brought in Deathstroke, right? Not Slade. I mean,
That
they're
is no
kind of
show.
like the same person anyway.
Yeah, they're the same person. It's just Slade's real
All
name.
right. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
right though.
I thought
Yeah,
that, especially that actor that played him, was fire.
yeah.
When they brought in
No, was the last name.
Ra's al Ghul,
Mhm.
that was when they started to like lose me a little bit. I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe because I was like used to what's his
Bat-
face being Ra's al Ghul in the movie, and
yeah, yeah. Okay.
not Dark Knight, Batman Begins.
Yeah, yeah,
But I don't know, it's just like maybe his accent or some shit like that,
yeah.
like
I
kind of
feel
threw
that.
me off.
I can feel that. And
But
then a lot of
yeah,
people had complaints too with the Batman stuff, because they were like, it feels like he's still in Batman's story, but with Green Arrow,
yeah,
his story was kind of his entry was like he did have that. He crashed, like his boat crashed, everybody died. He was the only survivor. Um, but I do like how they built up around it and made it
yeah.
feel. I mean, because he did in the comics, he did train under the league. He
hmm
didn't go as far as like I don't think he had that much of a connection with Ra's al Ghul as much as Batman did, but he did train under the league for a little bit. So it made a little
Yeah,
bit of sense, but I can understand where people were like, "Oh, they're giving him Batman story," and I was like, "Okay, I see what y'all was talking about." But yeah, I think like a lot
yeah.
of their B and C lister characters, if they started doing movies and actual TV shows and bringing them in and doing them right, like they can
They got
kill
it.
it, you know?
The thing with DC is they have to earn the right to do that.
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't get a Hawkeye series or a Black Widow movie
Until
until
Marvel did it.
Yeah, until Iron Man, Thor, Hulk,
Mhm,
Spider-Man, like everybody got their shit, and then it was already in the universe. So it was like, all right, cool, we're gonna accept it. We're getting extra.
mhm,
But like you still haven't committed to Superman.
mhm.
What the fuck's going on? We had 12 different Batmans.
Yeah,
You had a decent Wonder Woman movie, and then that second one was atrocious. What
yeah.
the fuck is going on with Ezra Miller?
The
Like his ass needs to be in
yeah,
jail. Talk about
for real.
that nigga is Reverse Flash. I don't care what anybody says about Ezra Miller, but he is Reverse Flash. Like what is going on? And then I'm hearing that Aquaman, like the first one was gonna be serious, and then the
Mhm,
next one is gonna be more jokey. Like I don't know. It's like it's
yeah.
mad confusion.
It's
And then we got
it
Black Adam, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna, even though I'm a Marvel stan, I'm part of the
mhm,
Marvel gang. Like I'm
mhm.
repping the set. That Black Adam is looking kind of fire.
Yeah, it's
They
looking good.
haven't had too much detail in the trailers, so
Mhm.
that's already a good indicator that yeah, there's gonna be some shit that's gonna like pop off. I already saw the ending credit scene.
Oh, you
Um,
saw that? Don't tell.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
already know though, because like I be following it and like I be following it deeply. So when everybody was like, "Oh, you know, Ben Affleck's not coming back and Henry Cavill's not coming back," I'm just like, the way Henry Cavill looked at that Superman suit, you think they really gonna go out there and start looking for new Superman?